Welcome back to Silica Valley and another in our home bar series. This time we're in Hull at the Stumble Inn. The style they were going for is a traditional Irish pub and it sits at the bottom of Andy and Hayley's garden. There is an unused rear entrance to the property and you can see that the solid base is already in place in the form of a paved area. There are no self-build elements to this bar. Tradespeople were used exclusively for the build from start to finish. Construction took 4 weeks and reused that existing paved area. Internally, the brief was fairly simple: a bar service area, bench seating in the corner, and Andy and Hayley wanted to retain a small area for storage, which could be accessed from the outside. The internal walls for this can be seen to the right of the bar in this image. And eventually, the Stumble Inn was opened for business. The bar is 6 metres by 4 metres in size. It's a wooden construction with a flat roof. Downlighters have been used on the downward fascias. Small exterior fairy lights are draped along the ridgeline. Together, the downlighters, the fairy lights, the embedded external floor lights, and the glow from the windows combine for an inviting aesthetic during the 50-foot approach through the garden. Some privacy is offered by one-way privacy film to the glass. This product's inexpensive and easy to fit. You just cut it to size and apply it, carefully avoiding bubbles. We're inside now, and immediately we can see the traditional pub theme coming to life. Despite there being a modern double-glazed door, there is a strong impression of wood and brick. And there are strip lights all around the ceiling. And another pub-like feature is the wooden beams in the ceiling, which also surround the mirror. Wooden beams are very common in oldie-worldy pubs, and they fit in brilliantly. But they were sourced from modifications to the main house. These beams were originally in the loft, recycled wood and money saved, and they really fit in. The floor covering is a laminate. Below that is one of the areas Andy would improve upon if he was building again. The floor's a bit springy overall and he wishes he'd paid more attention by adding more trusses and a thicker OBS floorboard. The furniture is traditional with a high back leather grandad chair, and this table and chairs, which together with the bench seating create a nice little snug area. I love the American style ringing the bull bar top game. The brick effect is achieved with wallpaper and there's a nice little inset tribute to English football. A quick Google of traditional Irish pub reveals a range of results which strongly mirror the theme we can see here. Wood, stools, brick and brasses can be seen in abundance, and these themes are echoed tastefully at the Stumble Inn. Moving toward the bar now, we can see more clearly this area which one day may become a built-in bathroom. Now, apologies for catching myself in the mirror here. We can turn our attention now to the bar. The serving counter is simply made with 4x2 wood and a wooden fascia which has been painted sympathetically with the rest of the woodwork. There's a great consistency of style throughout, and the consistent wood colour is certainly a big part of that. There's room for these 2 bar stools in front, optics on the wall, and a full width back bar. You can see 2 beer taps on the bar here, but they're for decoration only to enhance the pub look. Andy and Hayley fit behind this bar perfectly. I, however, do not, but we can at least have a peek. There's a domestic fridge, and the light effect comes simply from a lamp with a smart bulb in it. There's further storage for spirits and glasses behind the bar. A clever trick to make a space look and feel bigger is to add a mirror. Here we can see a huge mirror to really magnify that effect. Stepping backwards, we can clearly see how the depth of the room appears much greater. A neat trick. There is additional seating via this Chesterfield-style leather couch. It's a good match for the chair, isn't it? Both these items came for free from Andy's mum. And during the Football World Cup in 2022, this wall became a cinema screen for the projector in the ceiling. Behind the TV is a Wi-Fi solution from TP-Link. It's a dedicated mesh system which extends the Wi-Fi from the house. He wanted to avoid running an Ethernet cable through the house because the router's in the front room. Andy says it works really well and was an inexpensive and successful solution. The first unit's plugged into the router, there's another in the kitchen extension, and the third is snuggled in behind the TV here in the bar. In the corner below the TV is a portable air conditioning unit. Andy switched it on for me while I was there, and it was pretty noisy. With these units, the word portable is a bit misleading. Yes, you can wheel them around the space, but they still require a large hose outlet to the outside. So in practical terms, in a space like this, they're not very portable. The outlet's a fairly big hole in the wall behind the unit, and he tells me it's not ideal. For having a few people round, the TV is fine, but for special occasions this projector can be used instead, with a temporary screen fixed to the wall opposite. Here's what it looked like during the World Cup. The screen is 100 inches wide. TV for casual watching, cinema style with a projector for bigger watch parties. And talking of parties, at night time, the bar can easily transform into a party space using simple lighting and a bit of smoke. There is a dartboard in here which is hidden behind Leonardo DiCaprio. This picture was imagined and created by artificial intelligence, which sounds pretty neat. Below are more traditional features of a bar. There's a flame effect stove with brass companion set. There is brass everywhere. Since the Great Exhibition in 1851, horse brasses have decorated working horses like the famous Shire Horse. They came to decorate pubs and they're now seen as a very traditional feature. Even the lights look like something from another era. The Stumble Inn has a warm and familiar appeal, and all these details like the brasses, the Shire horses, the snug and the wood combine to provide a warm, comforting embrace for the weary traveller or the party animal. Stick around for an interview with the owner Andy and subscribe to Silica Valley to see more in our home bar series. Okay, well, I'm here with Andy. Thanks, Andy, for letting us look at your bar.
More than welcome.
Today. Appreciate it. I stumbled in.
Absolutely.
And I liked what I saw.
It's normally stumbling out.
Well, that's true, yeah. So tell us something about how you came up with the idea for the bar. Well, first of all, why a bar at all?
Okay. So originally, like I say, we had a bar at the old house, and it was more just around, obviously, lockdown.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think the fact that you couldn't go out and just not sat in front of the TV, just watching the TV, same thing, what you do week in, week out. So I think it was just trying to do something a bit different. So we converted the old conservatory into a little bar. We had, like I said, we'd have a few drinks and stuff in there, and then I made a little tiki bar outside for the summer.
Nice.
And then we decided, like I say, we'll do something a bit properly when we actually moved house again. So
when you say tiki bar, just go into a bit more detail about that, because you might be overselling it a little bit there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So it was basically some pallets.
Yeah.
with just like a little tiki bits stuck around there. So
grass skirt, pallets with a grass
kind
skirt.
Of thing. Absolutely. Yeah. Little sand said tiki bar. So
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
So yeah, and then like I say, when we moved, it was something that I thought, from lockdown, let's build a bar.
Let's do it. Yeah,
let's build a bar. Don't go out as much, save a bit of money, so it'll probably pay for itself in the long run.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to obviously have friends round. We have my little son. We had his party in here for his second birthday, so it's multifunctional.
Lovely.
So yeah, we use it for all different types of
cool.
things. So.
And so this was this an empty space before you built this?
Yeah, so it was just a carport, which is with a little shed on there. So luckily the concrete base was already here. I didn't need to build that.
Was it? Right, okay.
So that was already done, So obviously a big saving.
Massive saving, yeah.
Not doing that, so like I say, it was just deciding how big we wanted it, what kind of design, and probably got a lot of inspiration from the page, to be honest. So like I say, there was a couple of ideas of some of the builds that I'd seen, and I thought actually I quite like the look of part of that and a bit of this. So so that's where it came from.
Now I asked you before where you got the idea for the design layout. And you had an idea about that? Yeah, so
there's an old pub in the town centre in Hull called Bonnyboat, and to be honest, it's quite like an oldie-worldy pub, bit Irishy. Yeah. So that's kind of design I wanted to go for, keep it quite old and traditional.
Right, so that's so we've got Shire horses, we've got brasses, we've got beer mats, we've got wood. That's all the kind of look you were going for.
Absolutely.
Proper old-fashioned painting right behind you as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Solid gold frame, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah. Only the best.
Only the best. So how much are you into this bar for, all told? You already had the concrete base, and you had tradespeople to do the work,
We did,
didn't you?
yes. So we had tradespeople. I've not done anything really build-wise, so it's about 9,000, I'd say.
About 9,000, yeah.
Yeah, like I say, some of the bits, obviously, we've reclaimed from the house, so obviously we had a loft conversion, managed to get the oak beam things, incorporate some of that, so a little bit of savings here and there.
Yeah.
So, but I would say probably around 9,000.
Very nice, very nice. And, when you reflect back on the experience,
what do you think? Do you think there's anything you would change about what you've done?
Absolutely, yeah. I think if I got the chance to do it all again, I would probably insulate it a bit better. I would probably put more thought into that. It is
There's
insulated.
quite a few heaters in here, isn't there?
Yeah.
I noticed. So you're feeling the cold a bit at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, you can
We're
feel
here
it
in
now.
our in our coats.
We've got
aren't we?
no heating on, you know, and you
Yeah.
can feel it is chilly. So I probably would have insulated it more, probably spent a bit more time making sure that the first fix doing them kind of things, I think. I would have also put more sockets in. I think that's an afterthought that I think when you start adding new bits in, like I say, the fire and things like that, you're having to put extension leads here and there, and I think that's probably something I'd look at, and I potentially could still look at maybe adding some in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're the two main things I would definitely do differently.
Okay, so how do you put music on in here? What do you use for that?
So I've got two things. I've got the TV, which has got a soundbar behind there, so if we're watching something on YouTube or wherever, and then I've also got a Bose speaker, which is Bluetooth to my phone, so, and then choose Spotify. So.
Right. And how do you handle ice?
So I've got a little fridge underneath the counter, and it's got a little freezer compartment.
Yeah.
My American fridge does ice.
Okay.
So perfect.
Oh, so you just go and grab some out of your American
bring
fridge.
it straight down, put it straight in the freezer.
What size would you say it is?
So it's 6 before metres.
64 metres.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a decent space, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've had 25 people in here.
25 people. So for one of the World Cup the Euro games last year. We had 25 people in here.
I'm not convinced you'd pass fire eggs on that.
No, absolutely
if
not.
It was commercial.
I completely agree.
Well, it's really good of you to invite me down. What I've really liked is I've liked the personal flavour, because we've seen the photographs of your family on the wall there.
Yeah.
And there's one of your grandfather, I think you said, with a shy horse.
So great-grandfather, yeah.
Your great-grandfather. We've got a shy horse over there, shy horse over there. Brasses all around the place. And it sounds like you're having a really nice time in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I really appreciate it. Thanks very much indeed,
welcome.
Andy. All right.
Nice.